Hello everybody, welcome back to just the slightest hint of the main theme of Final Fantasy VII. Brief story. It's me, Get Dave, we're playing Final Fantasy VII. Brief side story. So, I have a game development company I started. We're working on stuff. One of the things I did as an exercise was I sat down and listened to the entire Final Fantasy VII soundtrack and tried to see every song where I could pick out the theme of Final Fantasy VII. And it's about 1/3 of the soundtrack. 1/3 of the songs have the melody in there, or parts of it. Just as a, hey, how often do you use a theme in a soundtrack? Let's pick this one as a one because there's a very clear motif. And it actually sets up one of my favorite moments in all of video gaming. We'll talk about that as time goes on. Because I've actually talked to a lot of people who feel this way. Midgar is my least favorite part of this game, as the remake's going to focus entirely on Midgar. And you know, it's a little bit different. It's less dreary, although I don't know if you want Midgar to be much less dreary. Yeah, all the weirdos got on the train. Hey, thanks, man. Well, that was a quick turnaround. Yeah, Barrett does a peek. Is he gonna say it again? Alright. Bombs and monitors. I'm well acquainted with one of those. And people live on top and people live underneath. I think this is a different translation. I thought it originally said that's the kind of place this is. See, what's interesting is the game is kind of punchy. We got here in 25 or so minutes, not in any particular hurry. But it's taken time to breathe, which is also something I feel is missing, at least for movies. Oh yeah, sorry. Aw. A little bit of resentment there. In the remake, you can see the drop off in between the plates. You can see like this gap, and then there's like more city underneath. Just for the surprises. Yeah, this makes me wonder if there were sort of people on the land and Midgar just kind of got built over top. Oh man. This game's so good. I can see all the stuff they're setting up, right? And they cut to the visual of it spiraling the plate, like Jesse was telling us about. Or sorry, spiraling around the center support pillar. But yeah, setting up the train motif. You can't get off the train you're on. Yeah, and like, they just put it on in a very subtle way. You know, to think that in Final Fantasy 13, Snow literally will turn to the camera and say, like, I think the hero is here, or something like that. That's where the subtlety went. But in this one, they're talking about this sort of concept of a lot of life is about what you don't choose. You know, you get to choose how you play your cards. You don't get to pick what you're dealt. This way, go to the train graveyard. Yeah. Oh man, I can get in fights here. It's probably fine. Oh yeah. Is that a normal sweeper? Yeah, we're fine. So again, a new thing. I did not know you could fight sweepers outside of the #1 Mako reactor. I've gone this way before, but I don't think I ever got into a fight. It's effectively a one-way because we can't. You gotta solve the puzzle from the other side, which then I guess would make it a two-way. Come on. Come at me. I can see why I didn't get into an encounter before. Yeah, wow. This is really neat. Anyway, I kind of feel like sort of the Marvel movie style is, they're not necessarily at fault. I'm not the hugest fan of them, but I don't know. They are good at what they do. I guess my main beef with Marvel movies is just they've kind of displaced everything else. It's blockbusters or nothing now. You gotta make 500 mil or nothing. That's been going on for a long time, though. They're just the newest kid on the block. Yeah, I just want to look at the pillar. I was always a little confused at what to look at, because the pillar is actually off to the right, and that's just sort of a structure beside it that we're looking at. Some scaffolding. The mother of all staircases next to it. A lot of big stairs in this game. Anyway, just movies got fast-paced, and then games sort of got fast-paced but about the wrong kind of stuff, in my opinion. I don't know, if you've got a plot you want to keep moving, you have to be careful about how many side quests you throw on. Momentum's a bit of an art. And FF7, it's a little slow at the beginning. This is, I would say, the slowest point. And then just the masterclass, man. Bah! So I have never come here without a flower before. Because normally you can buy one from Aerith. I normally give it to Marlene to cheer her up. Did I fight with Barrett? Yeah. I love Tifa. Yeah, we'll go see how Marlene's doing. Seems fine. Gotta get down on her level. Find a neutral but common ground to talk about. About what? Looks like he's hammering pretty hard. Yeah, why not? You've had a couple too many pops there. Doing great. Killed a few people. Yeah. Yeah, this one was always... I didn't even know what was going on the first couple of times. I mean, now you can sort of see, okay, she shakes a cocktail shaker, slides something down the bar. So that's a scene I kind of want to see. Drinking, having video games where you depict drinking is actually really difficult. Ooh, and that stops the conversation. Oh man. What a strange thing to ask. Yeah. And Tifa hasn't really seen Cloud in 5... Actually, I'm just gonna adjust to my chair here. Tifa at this point has kind of not seen Cloud in 7 years. Because they grew up together, and then one day he says, I'm leaving. He invites the girl next door over, says, I'm leaving and I'm going to become real strong and famous. And they've always had, I don't know, they have a cool dynamic that's under the Hironobu Sakaguchi Final Fantasies. And he was responsible for the story concept in this, and then I forget if he was producer or director. I think producer on this one. He just does a good job with subtext. But they've got this cool parallel story. Cloud's dad has died, Tifa's mom has died, and they grow up together under that situation as neighbors. And then kind of everybody else died. And these are the two that made it out of their hometown. But yeah, she hasn't seen him in a long time, aside from picking him up at a train stop. All we know is very recently, and that happens before the game starts. And aside from that, she technically saw him 5 years before that, but during some parts did not know, and during the other parts does not remember. And that idea that two people can, like, it's pretty common to have a story about two people remembering the same events differently in sort of a Rashomon. Oh, I thought it was this way, you thought it was that way. And, oh man, memory is subjective. But what if two people both witness something, both are wrong, and both forget the critical thing, that, like, the most important stuff? And you know, it all gets bottled up and you just lose it. It just floats away. That's, oh man, what a good story. I think you're too uptight. No, not really. I think Biggs could be a bit more uptight. No, I think you're Yeah, so I don't know if it's implied it had more kick than they thought it would. In the remake, they just disabled the reactor. And it's implied that there's more avalanche cells and we're sort of a more extreme one that's kind of shunned by the group. Yeah, time to be that guy. Wants a piece of him. Yeah, can you bite the hand that feeds you? Little 5'7" cloud staring him down. Oh man. When you consider what's going on with Cloud, there's a lot of, yeah, now that you've mouthed off the entire room. Yeah, stop pestering her. Can't get the bigs. Ah! Yeah, he could use one. I guess what I was trying to say a moment ago is, Cloud's probably... there's a good reason why he looks tired, I guess. Like, he's probably in quite the situation right now in his mind. Yeah, I bet he's lonely, because Cloud's actual personality is not nearly as standoffish as he's acting right now. And Tifa's theme's great. I like this game. Like, I haven't played it in so long that I was like, oh, is it really my favorite? You know, Tactics is pretty good. Scratching a different itch, I like X-Wing Alliance a lot. You know, Breath of the Wild's pretty good, but man... I didn't even like the song when I was a kid, but listening to it now, it's just... I appreciate stuff that's not exciting and intense more. Just something that has space to breathe. Again, thinking about the hectic movies, like, I was watching Star Wars the other day. Because a lot of people are like, I like Star Wars, but it's gotten so big that they don't really often mean like the original trilogy. But I was just watching the first one and just Luke taking 1 minute, the scene's almost exactly 1 minute, to just look at the sky and let the music do the talking. And like, that's so powerful. And, you know, they ended up being like, everyone's running and shouting and no time to think about this, no time to do that. You know, it's just, let your story breathe and the feelings can soak in and you can let something other than your plot do the talking. You can let just music, characters' facial expressions, you can let the actors actually act. Something the remake trailer does a really good job showing, actually. You get this feeling that something has to be done. Wow. You wonder what would have happened if he walked out the door. Yeah. So it seems like maybe Tifa's manipulating him, but she's actually noticing all these things that are wrong with him. He should remember the promise. It's like the last major moment they had together. The last time they truly connected was this formative memory. And again, the story's like going a little bit slower, and you're like, oh, you know, where's the action? But It's all so important. You got the nice music. Cloud with his NBA-sized shoes. Got a comment recently on the LP I did of this of someone being like, "Oh, why do they look this way?" And I snarkily explained puberty to him. Tifa's, I think, a year younger than him. I don't remember their birthdays, but I think Cloud's 21 during the story and Tifa's 20. But when I was 14, I was shorter than some 13-year-old girls, that's for sure. I was a super late bloomer for the record. Like, between grade 10 and 11, I grew something like 6 inches in one summer. Just like it came back a grown man. The great Sephiroth. Gotta work hard. Kind of giggles at the idea. Yeah, and now you can see. So from it's unclear how much earlier this happens in the story, but so Tifa's mom dies, and she goes wandering into the mountains. You can kind of see Mount Nibel in the background that they live near. She goes wandering in this sort of grief-stricken daze of, I'm gonna go find her soul. And all the friends try to like convince her to go, and Cloud's the only one, or convince her to come back and don't do it, and she's way ahead of them. They all chicken out. Cloud's the one that like tries to actually like, I don't know, help somehow. And they both end up getting really hurt, but they kind of have this little connection now because he was always too, Tifa was sort of the popular girl. Cloud's this angry short kid basically, who's not as much part of the group, and he's always sort of on the outside looking in. But you know, Tifa is moved, like, I don't know, notices that he's the one who didn't chicken out, and so there's this really deep planted significance of all of that to the two of them, that they have this bond of being missing a parent and everything. And you know, Tifa asking a question like, "Oh, you're actually gonna go?" And now she's feeling this pang, right? You can see it. "Oh, well, will you be in the newspapers? Can I read about you? Let's make a promise." You can see like this really strong bond starting to form. Or I guess maybe this is it kind of manifesting would be a better way of putting it, because history is powerful and Cloud's doesn't have a ton in a way. Because again, you lose so much, the history's kind of gone in a sense. So this very adolescent wants her knight in shining armor. Yep. Yeah, you got your childhood dream, didn't you, Cloud? Little head scratcher. How did you get in again? Yeah, and again, it seems like she's trying to convince him to stay to help Avalanche, and really she's got a lot more going on. I wonder how they'll show that. Because Tifa's so bad at expressing her emotions, which is part of why I like her so much as a character. She does things, and then you try to figure out why, and she just is like, I'm not losing? She's worried about him, is the truth. And rightfully so. We've taken a long time to just talk about the game. I don't know, I hope it's a fun, relaxing ride. It'll set up what to look for in the remake, see if they get it right. This is the stuff that matters. $2,000. And then she's just like, thanks, don't counteroffer. But we got a raise. You know what? 33% raise in one day, not bad. Now you can feel the music's a bit more driving. Now we're getting going. All right, don't complain. Don't worry about it. Tifa's really terrible at first, in the end I think she's the most powerful overall character in the game. Because you have to sort of look not just at their endgame potential, which is pretty good on her, although technically, like, if you grind the game for like 100 hours, some characters can be better. But on a realistic playthrough, I think she's the best. Oh yeah. This is like the least responsible thing ever. Alright, remember Daddy's Glock. A 6-year-old minding a business in a slum that serves alcohol. And Barrett had to chase everyone out with a gun. Earlier. Well, we'll explore the town and get things rolling next time. I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are too. Gotta get primed for April 10th.